Did it start?
Yes.
Okay, guys, thank you again for being here as my audience, family. Don't need to start that yet. Thanks again for being here, Mrs. Moran. Hello. This is my fourth speech and second to the last. So let's get started. Hi. Okay. Oh yeah, everybody say hi. That's hi. Okay, so let's get started. So most of you have probably heard about Terry Schiavo.
Yes.
No.
If you don't know the details, I'll let you know that Terry Schiavo was in the news because her parents and her husband were in a disagreement over whether they should remove life-sustaining medical treatment.
I remember.
This pain could have been avoided if she would have had an advanced medical directive.
Yes.
When she died, or rather when she became incapacitated, she was only 29 years old. She had a heart attack and suffered severe brain damage. 15 years later, her husband got the authority to remove the life-sustaining treatments. Her family was protesting at the time.
High five.
I've been witness to this same struggle when Mama had her second stroke. Plus, I've done quite a bit of research on advanced directives. Most of us plan for accidents in monetary ways. We have car insurance to protect us from monetary damages. We have homeowners insurance. We have renters insurance. We also have health care insurance, just in case we get sick. How many of us have a medical advance directive or a medical proxy? Well, don't despair, you're not alone. Only 15% of Virginians have advance directives. This is according to the Governor's Proclamation on Advance Directive Day. Less than 50% of Virginia residents that are terminally ill do not have advance directions. That means they are dying. Their family does not have any information on how they would like to be treated in the event they can't make their own decisions. Most of us want to have an advance directive. In fact, a published survey in the New England Journal of Medicine noted that over 85% of the surveyors, or rather the people surveyed, wanted an advance directive. We all want to be protected and be prepared in case of. So I would say that most of us would have that feeling. Today I'm going to tell you the problem with not having an advance directive. I'm also going to tell you the reasons why some people don't get advance directives, and lastly, how we can solve that problem by creating the minimum of documents in a short amount of time. So we'll get started with the problems of not having an advance directive. We all are aware of not what happens when you don't have an advance directive. You never know when you're going to be incapacitated. You don't know if you're going to have a car accident, but you have that car insurance, and that's why it's a problem not to have an advance directive. You don't know when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen, and you might not be able to speak for yourself. Look at Mama. All of us felt like we knew what she wanted, but Chicky wasn't in agreement, and that caused a problem. And we didn't have anything written to tell us what Mama Anna wanted. So that's very obvious. Terry Schiavo, obviously 15 years on life support. Nobody knew what she wanted either. And they'll never know. The second problem
She speaks for us.
with not having advance directive is the unnecessary suffering that an already grieving family has to go through. You're already in pain. You're already seeing this person that you love die, and you don't know if you're doing what they want or if you're doing the right thing, and you never can be sure without that person's directions. So that pretty much covers the basics of why you should have or what's wrong with not having advance directives. Let's move on to the reasons why some people don't have them. A lot of people think they're too young. Now, we've already covered that you don't know when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen, so you're never really too young. If you have a family that loves you and you're over 18, you should have an advance directive. Your family shouldn't have to make that decision for you. They should have your words, and you want to happen what you want. You certainly, if you don't want to have medical treatments that keep you alive for years and years and have your family, paying for these medical expenses, if you don't say it, we don't know it. So the second reason that most people don't have advance directions is because they feel like their family already knows what they want. They've talked about it briefly. There's an episode of 6 Feet Under where the wife and the husband are talking, and the wife says, I would like to be buried in the earth as close as possible to the earth that created me. Well, it turns out that she dies, and her family wants to have her cremated and put in the family mausoleum, which is about the farthest thing you could get from being buried with nothing between you and the earth. So those are reasons, you know, that you need to share your information with your family, but also you need to have it written down. Thirdly, some people think an advanced directive means don't treat me at all. They think that they're not going to get any medical attention, which is not the case. You're not going to have a feeding tube, and you're probably not going to have a respirator. But if you want those things, you could also stipulate that in your advanced directive. But it doesn't mean that you're not going to get treatment. It means you'll get comfort measures. And lastly, people think they'll lose control of their own medical treatment. But an advanced directive isn't implemented unless the person is deemed incapacitated, and that has to be done by 2 doctors at least, so that are in agreement of your state. So we know why people don't have the advanced directives. We know why they're so very important. Now let's talk about the easy solutions that are available for all of us to get this document in our hands and have those talks. So to take action is essentially the solution. There's 3 steps that you can take to resolve this problem. The first is to make an advance directive. You don't need a lawyer to make an advance directive. You don't even need a notary. You need 2 witnesses, and that's it. There's a free online template through the Virginia Bar Association. It's literally a fill-in-the-blank form that says, I don't want life-sustaining treatments. If I do, it has a blank where you can say things that you do want. It has a place where you can designate a proxy and a place for the witnesses. And it's really a short, quick form that covers those kind of basic things. The American Bar Association also has a toolkit that gives you more information about specific medical situations, like if you were, say, possibly able to be recovered, would you want this, this, and this? It has more specific things that will help you decide on what you would like to have happen for you. The second step is to designate a medical proxy. It's very quick, it's very easy. You just say, I want John to be my medical proxy, and I trust him to make all my medical decisions. Dr. Takahashi, he's a specialist in geriatrics at the Rochester Mayo Clinic. He suggests that you choose the best candidate. You don't choose someone out of guilt or obligation. Choose someone that you know is going to be able to carry out your wishes. If you're someone who doesn't want any medical intervention, don't pick Chicky. You know, he's not going to help you there. He's not going to be able to do that. Pick someone who you know is going to be able to make these choices in the way that you want them to be. Also, and thirdly, talk to your proxy. Talk to your family, talk to your proxy, and tell them what you want them to know. But keep in mind that you still need that form, because you might not have this condition come up. You might never have it come up, but in the event you do, it could be 20 years from now. Who's going to remember that? Also, you know, you might change your mind at some point. So you need to keep these things going and talk to your family. Talk about organ donation. Talk about life-prolonging procedures and whether you do or don't want them. Lastly, make sure that these things are not in vain. Make sure the document's accessible. Make sure you have a copy. Make sure your proxy has a copy. And if you have a terminal illness or you have a diagnosis that's a problem, make sure that your doctor has a copy as well. Also, review your document every 10 years, like when you turn 40, 50, blah, blah, blah. At the death of a loved one, review it. If you get divorced, if you have a terminal diagnosis, and also if you have a declining and an existing health condition. Those are times when you need to review the document. And that is according to the American Bar Association's Commission on Aging. So we've pretty much covered, well, we've definitely covered the problems associated with not having an advance directive, the solution to that problem, and we have the information as well as the tools to solve this issue. So take this opportunity to make a difficult time for your family easier and use the tools that we've given you. Keep in mind that I have copies of the toolkit so you can look it over and use it for yourself. And I also have a copy of the Virginia Advanced Medical Directive that's also available on the ABA's website, or rather the VBA's website, the Virginia Bar Association's website. So it's really short, just fill in the blanks. So thanks for listening. I very much appreciate your time, and thanks again.
Woo! One more. That was great. Very informative.
Sorry it was so long.
Very informative.
Bye, Mrs. Maria.
Very good.